Whoa, whoa. I didn't forget to record the stock market weekly recap at all, okay? There's no chance. You think that's something I would possibly forget? I mean, come on now. We're not recording it, the afternoon, Sunday afternoon. This was clearly pre-recorded, but we're going to get into it anyway. So, start with our freaking portfolios as we do. Robinhood, then M1. Then we go into, obviously, how the normal, just the indices did compared to our performance this week, and then get into news. So, starting with Robinhood, we had a smasher of a week. Up 3.26. That's what I call a smasher. As far as any of the updates from this week, I gotta be honest, relatively boring week. Not much going on as far as buys or sells. I did make a purchase of a little stock here, Energostock Watt, known for their wireless, really new version of wireless charging. This is over-the-air charging. I purchased 15 shares of this thing, $294. I do think the thing's very overvalued at the time, even at as a purchase of that. But the main point's building a small position and hopefully turning that into a larger position if it goes down. So I do like that. We also got some good dividend payments this week, and that's really about it. So we had NRZ payout $271, which got reinvested or will get reinvested. We had KBWY payout $3.14, will be reinvested. SPHD paid out 97 cents. DES paid out 11 cents, and KBWD paid out $2.36, and all those will be reinvested as of Monday. So really just a dividend week, and that's about it. So you have to add those into my gains. So even a better week than I might have thought. That's all I'm saying. So that's exciting. That's the Robinhood portfolio. Nothing major to add into this. It means all time we are up 35% or $4,961. That dollar amount just seems shocking to me, but I absolutely freaking love it. So definitely looking to add some more money, but it's harder to find these good deals nowadays. I'm telling you, hard to find good deals on these stocks, but definitely some good companies out there I'll be looking at buying more of. For M1 Finance, on the week we were up 3.23%, so good week for me, I can't lie. I do like this week. $378 in market gain this week. Whew, sounds beautiful to me. Makes me quite happy. Nothing major as far as activity is concerned. As far as holdings, we're overall up 11.58% in terms of the positions, and if you include dividends, we're up 37.84%. As far as activity is concerned, we saw some good stuff happening. We had our just normal morning buys. Nothing major here. Good chunk of Intel purchased. Good chunk of Kohl's and Kimco Realty Corp. So really nothing major there. We had some good dividends. Orchid Island Capital paid $2.09. Gladstone Capital paid $2.92. SPHD was $1.55 here. NRZ was $4.84 here, and SPY, just the S&P 500 index, paid 98 cents. Nothing major there, but we love to see that. So definitely good stuff going on here. I'm adding to this one more regularly than I am my Robinhood. My Robinhood's going up by more, really because I'm a little bit more tech heavy on my Robinhood. So therefore, it's rocketing up. What can I say? But we're ready for another good week for this M1 Finance portfolio. Overall, for the indices, you see the Dow Jones was actually down this week, believe it or not. Down 0.16%, brings it year-to-date down 7.39%. Overall, I will say I smothered the Dow. What can I say? I smothered the Dow. I smothered it. It's crying for its mommy because I just did so well this week. And when you send the Dow crying home to its mommy, you make it happy. S&P 500, hey, you bring those cheeks to me and I'm going to slap them, okay? S&P 500 up 1.73. Sorry, bad boy, I beat you. But all things considered, very nice. It brings us back into the green for the S&P 500 for the year, up 1.25. Crazy to think that they're up 1.25 this year. very crazy to think. I don't know about you, but I find that pretty crazy to think about. But, what can you say? Another, it's crazy stuff. The NASDAQ, though, the NASDAQ gave me skippity baps, baby. You see this? I was only up 3.26, and here's the freaking NASDAQ, 3.69 up. Booyaka, booyaka, 369. I can't believe it. I can't believe it was up that big. That's a big upward movement for the NASDAQ. And again, tech just played super well because of the fact that tech earnings were a massive beat. And we'll get into those in a second. But overall, for the year now, up 19.76 on the NASDAQ. That's incredible. It's freaking incredible to see that. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. And, oh gosh, that's just crazy. So, let's get into the news now, okay? Let's get into the news. So, Pfizer and BioNTech are in a late-stage human trial for the lead vaccine candidate for the corona. That's right, they're working on it. Typically, these will be definitely a couple months studies, but should ideally get approval as of October, supposedly, to supply up 100 million doses by the end of 2020 and 1.3 billion doses by the end of 2021. And I have to ask, hear me out, why do they need 1.3 billion doses by the end of 2021? They're making a vaccine for a virus that, as of that time, by the time they have 1.3 billion doses, likely will have affected a vast majority of the Earth's population. Just being honest. And what is that going to happen? Because, to our knowledge at least, which could be fair, this could work. To our knowledge at least, once you've had this thing, you develop antibodies to it. But I feel like it could be a lot of wasted money for Pfizer. Maybe I'm going crazy. But I'm sure governments will buy up this, so I think they'll probably be fine. Just curious on that one. We have a potential proposal for another relief package from the government. This one, very reasonable from the Republican Party. I think it's very reasonable. So they dropped the $600 federal unemployment supplement to $200 a week, which is, I think, extremely fair. And if you know someone who's been making more money than you sitting on their butt, I think this is fair. Trust me, I work 50 hours a week, and I prefer not to have someone make as much as me to do nothing. So $200 a week, good. Still a benefit to these people who are out at work. And honestly, there are jobs to be had. I'm just being frankly honest. It's not like there's not jobs to be had. Retail places are hiring like no other. You can get a job there temporarily, so you don't need to, if people complain about this, which we know it's not going to pass. Let's just be honest. This is not a bill that will pass because I believe, from reading the actual text of this, a big portion of what the Democrats want right now is to push this $1,200 payment, which is what they're expecting there, to illegal immigrants as well, and I really don't see it happening. I don't see it happening ever, so I have a bad feeling this honestly won't pass at all. Just going to be honest. And that's the plot of Congress. That is the nightmare that is government, that the two parties will never agree. Now, I think one thing is a relatively no-nonsense thing. I don't know why anyone would argue for potentially paying people who aren't necessarily citizens of the country, but, some people might vote for it, and I get that. But I just don't think it's a majority of the population, and I hate that, the whole population suffers because a very minority portion of the population has, those certain opinions on the matter. Well, that's my opinion. I don't know. I never got my 1,200 originally, so what can I say? I got nothing to say about this. But to anyone who needs the 1,200, we like to get the deal done. Instead, it's just going to be bickering back and forth because all politicians are kind of buttheads. Just going to be honest with you. AMC was up massively after renouncing a deal with Universal, which has shortened the number of days that films are running in theater for the movies from 7 to 17 days from previously 75. And AMC's up because of this. and it's because of really Universal paying money, but it's so Universal can go ahead and stream these movies quicker. And this is really just the beginning of the end for movie theaters, in my opinion. Not to say that they're all going to die out, but let's just be honest. Movie theaters aren't long for this world with everything going on, not alone just that, but streaming is taking over, and it's more profitable for these companies to just go straight to streaming for the most part. They get a lot more money that way. So I just see a lot more companies going to the streaming, and not just Universal, but you see big companies like Disney carries the box office, and it has for years now. If Disney goes to something where it's shortening deals and focusing on streaming, everyone else will fall in line. Let's just be honest with ourselves. So definitely something you need to look at here. Boeing pretty much pooped the bed, right? They crapped the bed on this one. It's a disgusting, disgusting quarter. A disgusting quarter. I mean, I don't know what you want to say about this. GAAP EPS of negative $4.20. $4.20, baby. Yeah. Someone needs to smoke some weed if they're going to be investing in Boeing stock. I'll tell you that right now, because this thing is a absolute trash fire, and the company's not going out of business. No doubt about it, because guess what? The government will always keep this thing alive, but it is a disgusting company to invest in right now, because that dividend is not coming back for a long time. Sorry. And that's the only thing this company has to offer. Revenue down 25% year over year. Could be worse, but I mean, that EPS is just ugly. Cash burn of $5.28 billion. I mean, that's more than freaking Uber burned. Gosh dang, that's crazy. I don't know. We had the hearing, the tech hearing on Capitol Hill. Just disgusting. This upset me greatly. If you watch this thing, it's infuriating watching Congress talk to these actual entrepreneurs, because Congress has no clue about business development. They have no clue about the free market. They have no clue about anything. It is crazy how uneducated these politicians are on this, for a majority of them. I don't see any of these companies listed, from Facebook to Amazon to Apple to Google, being monopolies. And frankly, these CEOs did a good job of proving their point. I really like Mark Zuckerberg as far as his ability to speak to Congress. The guy's honest, and he's very to the point, and I do respect that. Well, others may have dodged some certain questions. There's one question in particular that I really was a fan of, and this was good on Congress for this one. There were a couple good questions. I'll give him credit. One was about data stealing done by China, and Mark Zuckerberg was the only one that actually gave an honest answer. Everyone else kind of sidestepped because they have ties to China, and Mark Zuckerberg just says, yeah, that's right, China's stealing data, and everyone knows it. Because Mark Zuckerberg hates China, because they banned his app. What a shocker. So I do appreciate Mark Zuckerberg for that. The guy may be a robot, okay, could be slightly reptilian. I couldn't tell you. There's a chance, but this was a pain to watch. Oh gosh. GDP fell 33%. Yes, it was ugly. 32.9% GDP fell. It was expected to dip 34.1%. So there was a beat. But this was the quarter of entire lockdown, and it doesn't shock me at all. So economics, to see a 1/3 shrink in U.S. economic activity is rough. I do think there will be recovery, but right now we're almost hitting a second phase of this nonsense, and I have a bad feeling we're going to see another really bad GDP quarter, and for the year it's going to be pretty ugly. The V-shaped recovery that we were hoping for likely isn't going to happen. We're talking about U now. We're talking about a U. As far as the stock market's concerned, there's definitely a V-shape, but just the overall economy, I see more of a U-shaped. Because things are still slow right now. Still slow growth, and I think we will get to a point where we see better times by the end of the year, but for the next probably couple months, it's going to be probably pretty ugly. We had earnings smashers from the big tech companies. Amazon growing revenue 40%, beating estimates by $7 billion. Facebook smashing estimates, smashing them, proving that advertising rates or advertising money is still going to Facebook despite all the garbage protests. Apple out here smashing earnings, beaten by $7 billion as well. The tech darlings just absolutely smashed her. The trifecta of tech completely devastated earnings last Thursday, and it was an incredible sight to watch. Google, a little disappointing, can't lie to you. But everyone else smashed earnings, so very nice. And finally, Mr. Donnie says that he plans on banning TikTok from operating in the United States. Not a shocker. Quite a jab at China. Not anything unexpected. They've been talking about this for a while, but there are talks that Microsoft could be in talks of buying TikTok potentially. And if it happens, it happens. But all things considered, pretty wild to see. We'll see. I have a bad feeling once we kind of get past. Again, election's massive, but once we kind of get past coronavirus, which we will eventually get past, don't worry. I do think there's going to be another big fight back with China, depending on how the election goes. Let's be fair. There could be another big, if Donnie wins, there could be another big fight with China. I'm just going to be frankly honest with you, and it's something you got to be aware of. So, yeah, that's it for your weekly recap, and I hope you enjoyed.